I mean, the practicum, while you have prepared us, I mean, the curriculum was laid out in such a graceful way, and how you laid out all the building blocks, and then you would circle back to something and you would layer on it, and you'd circle back and layer. I know I have all of the tools and the toolkit to teach, but it is like an imposter syndrome. It is getting out of my own way and believing I can. And that is probably, honestly, feels like the most stressful part of the course right now. Showing up and doing the homework and living into it and doing the experiments and just being open to everything that is yoga has been the easy part. The practicum is honestly the stressful part. I don't know why.
I want to brag and say I haven't missed a single training, but it is a lot of time to dedicate. And so that has been difficult in a way that there are some days, like after work, I'm tired and I don't necessarily like want to stay out late to like do training, but I talk myself into it. So, you know, keeping that mindset and keeping going, like this is for a reason, like this is to better myself. That's like what helps. Also, there is a lot of information like in the training, and being a perfectionist, I want to obtain it all. And you are good at like prefacing people saying like, hey, you're not going to grasp everything we teach about. So I think that's like a personal struggle, like wanting to absorb it all when there's just so much to absorb. And like, I think being in this training for as long as I have and being as dedicated, it's just one of those things that you just keep learning about as you go, and the learning doesn't stop here. So those are the two things I think are a little challenging, but worth the fight through it. It's gonna benefit me in the long run because I am absorbing what I am, and I can utilize those skill sets and those tools to further my journey in life and in yoga.
So I came expecting to get technical knowledge. I knew there would be some self-reflection and work. And I had gone through a period, how I first came into yoga was I had gone through a pretty traumatic divorce when I was young, and yoga really helped me to get through that. And so coming back to this space, I maybe had forgotten some of the tools that I had learned, and that was unexpected for me to come back into this space and have it reopen all these kind of, I don't know if they were wounds, but just things I had forgotten to work on with myself. And so I had been living in this space, being in the school and taking care of everyone else's problems and issues, and safety being a big one. And didn't realize that coming into here would open up a lot of emotions, and like to have a lot of control over things, control over myself, control over my emotions, and that just wasn't gonna happen in here because we had a suicide earlier in the year at the school, or not at the school, but a student at the school. And so in the midst of that and a lot of suicide assessments, and so then after doing that all day, coming back into this space, and just the amount of emotions that came up, that was very unexpected for me, and so healing while I was going through that, to then come into this space, even though it was challenging and hard, to sit here meditating while crying and trying not to put it in the space and put the trauma onto everyone else. And I also don't trust that easily. So to come into this space and meet new friends and new people who are caring and supportive and just like being where you're at and letting things go. Those were some really nice, unexpected things, which also helped me to then, as we were talking today, actually just kind of really being able to be real with myself and say like, this this job may no longer serve you because it's too much. It's too heavy all the time. And I might have to really be honest with myself and look for something else. So that was like a big realization for me. And then just the amount of peace and clarity and creativity I've experienced has just been so joyful. And it makes me a better mother and a better human. I just feel more accepting of myself. Those were the unintended things that came out of it, and an increase in spirituality that I never really thought I would feel. I kind of started thinking like, okay, what do I want for my daughter? What do I want for my family? How can we be more spiritual now that I'm doing this as a family, and what next steps maybe can we take to put that into our lives a little bit more?